Fulton County DA Fani Willis has been removed from the Donald Trump quote unquote election interference case, all because of her improprieties with the gentleman right next to her in the pinstripe peacock suit. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis being removed from the Donald Trump quote unquote election interference case, all because of her improprieties with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, who she brought onto the case right when she announced that she was going to indict President Trump. Now, there is so much here. First of all, shout out to the appeals court out there in Georgia for making the correct decision, which should have been made a long time ago. Scott McAfee, the judge in the case, the judge that was over her being removed or not back in March, should have just kicked her off the case. What he did was say, hey, all right, Fani, we see you got something going on with Nathan Wade. It's improper. You guys have a romantic relationship. You gave him $700,000 before the case even started, all pretrial stuff. And the next highest person got paid $100,000, which is a big gap. Okay, that's a really big gap between what he got paid and what the next person got paid. Although we see all that, I'll give you a choice. You can either remove him and stay on the case, or keep him and recuse yourself. Now, if she recused herself back in March, when given the opportunity, the case would have died for the most part. Let me just back up a little bit to give some context. Now, this picture right here was right when they announced charges against Trump. I think it might have been 2020, 2021, right around that time. This is right then. Now, before this, they had visited the White House to the Biden administration. Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, who you can see right here with the custom suit with his name written right there on the cufflink area, okay? So they go to the White House. What are they discussing? I'm not going to say that they discussed trying to keep Trump out of the White House, trying to get Trump locked up, career building for Miss Willis. I'm not going to say they said that, but what else are they talking about? Okay, why is Mr. Nathan Wade over here, the magistrate judge, the traffic ticket judge, why is he in the White House? For what? Why? And why is he right here, right next to Fani when she's announcing the charges against President Trump and many others? For what reason? I think we can all put two and two together to get four. Now, when she announced the charges, it was not known that she was in a romantic relationship with Nathan Wade, who, by the way, has been married the entire time. I don't think he's divorced yet. And I believe part of the reason why this whole thing got exposed is because the wife came out and said, hey, where's my husband? He must be with this lady. Because they're all around Atlanta. They weren't even really trying to hide it. People saw them. I know people in the street that you were never going to meet that told me they saw them together. They were also spotted in different parts of the country. They were on the cruise, and these things weren't even denied. If you gave him $700,000 and he is not a rich man, he did not have a lot of money before that, then logically speaking, if you guys are in a relationship, that money is going right back to you in one way or another. Whether it's him taking you on a nice trip, taking you to a nice hotel, taking you to dinner, buying gifts, whatever it is, you are benefiting from that money. And legally, you cannot do that as a DA. So it was improper from the beginning. So back in March, she was given an opportunity to remove Nathan Wade from the case or remove herself. If she removed herself, then the case pretty much dies, which is kind of what's going on right now. And let me explain. The case has not been dismissed, but in order for the case to continue, another county got to pick it up. Another DA got to pick it up. Now, there's been other counties in the area, Atlanta area. They already said months ago that they don't want it. A lot of your northern counties, your Cobb and all that, they're not going to want this because that's MAGA country anyway. They're not trying to be involved in this clown show of trying to prosecute the president for nothing. Okay, a dead case that wasn't going to make it anyway. They don't want it. And a lot of the other counties that might want it, you might have a career building person in there. They don't have the financial resources. So I don't think the case goes any further, which is the 100% correct thing to do. it shouldn't have been a thing in the first place. And beyond that, I think that Fani Willis should get locked up and make big rocks to little. Nathan Wade too, because they're collaborating. They are in collusion with the White House, in my humble opinion, and each other to just benefit from the Trump case, to benefit financially. I don't even think it's about her not liking Trump or being anti-Trump. I think it's about her just wanting to get some money, just wanting to succeed in her career. That's what I believe. Maybe y'all think differently, but let's check out this video here from CNN. Let's see what they got to say about it. They might not like it too much because they may want the orange man to go to the penitentiary. I want to see what they say. There's also a written, I guess you would say, order statement, whatever it is from the courts. And we're going to go through that a little bit to see exactly what was said. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
We begin this hour with breaking news just into CNN. The Georgia prosecutor leading the state's election interference case against President-elect Donald Trump is now disqualified. CNN's Caitlin Polance is here with more. Caitlin, what can you tell us about this? This is just coming in the last several minutes. This is a big development.
A big development, and a big development that Donald Trump has wanted for a long time. That case against him in Georgia, the criminal case where it's accusing him and several others of a racketeering conspiracy related to the 2020 election, it's already been paused. Now it's not even backburnered. This is a case that will be dead in the water because the Georgia Court of Appeals is now saying that Fani Willis, the leader of the prosecution against Donald Trump, the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, she should be disqualified from being able to bring that case. The Georgia Court of Appeals is saying that it's a significant appearance of impropriety caused by the conduct of a public prosecutor. That is Willis, how she behaved, how she was speaking about the case, about Trump publicly, about how she was having a relationship with the top prosecutor that was concealed in this, a man named
Big Nate.
Nathan Wade. All of that previously the trial level judge had looked at and said, Fani Willis can stay on this case. We're not dismissing the indictment.
Now, the trial judge that allowed this to happen was Scott McAfee, and I think Scott McAfee has ties to Fani. If y'all please fact check me on that, but look up Scott McAfee and his connection to Fani.
But the Court of Appeals is now taking another look and saying, no, the trial judge was wrong. Fani Willis should be disqualified from continuing to lead this case. It would be a long process, or it will be a long process to replace her, which is why I say this case is dead in the water now without Fani Willis, the person who was leading this case against Donald Trump in Fulton County. And just to keep tabs on how many cases there are against Donald Trump criminally, the other two in federal court, January 6th, and classified documents, those are dismissed. And then the additional case in New York City where he was set to be sentenced, that sentencing is now not happening. So as Donald Trump enters the presidency, each of these courts that is handling a criminal case is essentially removing that issue from him to have to deal with in any period of time in the near future.
All right, Caitlin Polance, thanks for that added perspective. Let me bring in
Hey, Jim, how you like that? Hey, Jim Acosta, how you like that? CNN, how you like that? Eat that. Now let's go. Let's go read some of this here. Let's read some of this here. Okay. I will link to this in the box. So you can see what it says right here. Georgia Court of Appeals has disqualified Fulton County DA Fani Willis from the RICO case against real Donald Trump. We reverse the trial court's denial of appellant's motion to disqualify DA Willis in her office as we conclude that the elected district attorney who was wholly disqualified from the case, the assistant district attorney whose only powers to prosecute derived from constitutional authority of the district attorney who appointed them, have no authority to proceed. Now let's get to some of this here. Some of the highlights. We must determine whether the remedy fashioned by the trial court for this undisputed finding of a significant appearance of impropriety was improper as contended by the appellants. For the reasons explained below, we conclude that it was, and therefore reverse the trial court's denial of appellant's motion to disqualify. Okay, so basically they just reviewed the case and said, all right, with the trial judge, Scott McAfee, what he said, we're not buying, we're going to go a different direction. We're going to reverse him. So look, they were talking about some things she said publicly. She went to a church and gave a sermon, which is so dumb. I mean, this lady, more than anything else, Fani Willis is incompetent. Why would you go talk about an open case publicly in a church sermon For what? Just keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. That's basic lawyer 101. But if you are an incompetent lawyer like Fani Willis is, then you're going to do things like you'll do things like this that don't make any sense. But let's read. After DA Willis spoke publicly in church service on Sunday, January 14th, 2024, the other appellants also filed motions seeking dismissal and disqualification on the same grounds, as well as the additional ground of forensic misconduct in connection with the church speech and various other extrajudicial statements. Now, the thing about it, when she spoke at church, she signaled her bias against those in the court, like Trump and many others. So you're poisoning the well of the jurors because you're giving your opinion about it when you shouldn't be doing that. You should be neutral and just prosecute. But again, she's incompetent, so she can't do that. So the appellants contended the trial court's failure to disqualify DA Willis and her office was erroneous in the light of the trial court's finding that the record established that the prosecution is encumbered by a significant appearance of impropriety. In the appellant's view, the trial court's forward-looking remedy did not cure the already existing appearance of impropriety and the odor of mendacity found by the trial court. Based upon the fact findings of the trial court and its order and the state's failure to cross-appeal the trial court's finding of a significant appearance of impropriety, we agree. Exactly. So basically, to translate all that, Scott McAfee, again, back in March, when he gave Fani the option of staying on or kicking Nathan Wade off or whatever it was, when they gave her that option, that was improper because all the evidence pointed toward her not being able to be on this case because the odor and mendacity, things not looking right, improper. She should have been removed right there, but she wasn't. Okay. So there's more here. I'll link to everything in the box. Okay. So I'm going to read this piece right here and leave the rest for you guys. After carefully considering the trial court's findings and its order, we conclude that it erred by failing to disqualify DA Willis and her office. The remedy crafted by the trial court to prevent an ongoing appearance of impropriety did nothing to address the appearance of impropriety that existed at times when DA Willis was exercising her broad pretrial discretion about who to prosecute and what charges to bring. While I recognize that an appearance of impropriety generally is not enough to support disqualification, this is the rare case in which disqualification is mandated and no other remedy will suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of the proceedings. So basically they said, look, normally things look in a certain way, ain't really going to stop nothing. But this case is so egregious, so ridiculous when you take everything into account. Giving $700,000 to Nathan Wade before the case even started, and they are in a relationship which he didn't disclose. He's married, ain't been divorced yet, still married right now, 2024 as far as I know. Okay, you got that going on. Then you have her talking to the church and talking to the media, talking about Orange Man bad, poisoning the well. There were so many things that were done wrong here. There were so many things that she said wrong here. You have no choice but to get her off of the case because how can she remain with all that stuff going on? It doesn't make any sense. And before I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Donald Trump for beating all the cases. None of them stuck. But hey, at a certain point, when things are supposed to go one way, when God says, hey, you know what? This is what it's going to be. What are you going to do? And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about this whole situation? Is it about time that Fani, whatever her name is, got removed from the case, therefore pretty much killing the case as every other case has fallen apart? We knew what this was from the beginning. It was an effort to keep Trump out of the White House. Guess what, though? Hey, guess what? Didn't work. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.